Good afternoon, or start good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Robin Curdy Frazier. I am the president of Guilds of Requiem, and this is our Requiem's Events of Texas meeting for Sunday, August the 27th, 2023, as we get ready to go into our 2023-2024 vending season. We're just going to kind of recap a few things. We will also be having an in-person meeting at the Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar on the 16th of September, and we will be meeting from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. Hopefully we won't go much beyond that because I've got a couple other activities that I need to run later on in the afternoon that I need to keep prepping for. So agenda, we're going to talk about upcoming event information. As you can see, our 4 dates of our 4 events this year. Our volunteer sign-up sheet is open. Our vendor sign-up sheet is more than open. We're going to have a quick discussion about the future of Guilds of Requiem events, and if there's anybody that has questions or answers that's watching the video, you feel free to ask them at that time. If you're watching a recording of this video, just put a comment below, and I am pretty much online all the time. Either myself or Mikey will see it, or one of our other volunteers will see it. So general event information. Promotion for all 4 events has begun. This is the 411 on the events. Promotions for all 4 events has begun. We've already got 3 paid vendors for Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar, and we've got 6 vendors at least that have struck a deal with us. And we'd like to remind everybody that whether you've paid or whether you bartered is between yourself and us. Once again, the vendor's application is open. We'll have a hot link with where we do. The last day to pay for an event is the Friday before the event. We are not set up to take payments at the gate at any of our events. Promoting of the vendor or your business does not begin until the vending fee is received. The event map will be created a weekend before the event, along with any activities that schedule will go up the weekend before. There are too many variables happening in today's society for us to guarantee our attendance. We can only state what we've had in the past. Events with educational activities, presenters can get 1 vending space at $25. You do need to be responsible for somebody as operating your event while giving your presentation. It does have to be at least 15 to 30 minutes in length. It can be up to an hour. Anything above that, we really don't recommend, because then it gets too long and people get bored and lose interest. The educational activity does have to be related to the event. So if it's our Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar, it needs to be something related to one of those fields or a skill that you would use as a homesteader or a prepper. Our Pirate Puppy Party has to do something with pet care, pet adoptions, I guess if somebody wants to do the history of pirates, that would be an interesting thing to talk about, have a panel on. Ren Fair, of course, has to do anything with living in the old world, and we try to be as educational as possible at all of our events. Upcoming event information. The Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar has 2 dates, the 16th of September 2023 and 16th of March 2024. You can thank leap year for those dates corresponding to each other. The falls, we try to focus on food preservation, how to winter your garden or your homestead, because yes, even in Texas, we do get cold once in a while. We will have a seed swap, which includes the opportunity to have access to a seed vault that we have opened up. You can pick and pack your own seeds. If you bring seeds to our seed swaps, they do need to be labeled with what they are, when they were harvested, and approximate germination time, amount to fruiting, and that information you can either get off your original packaging or you can get off of a quick internet search. We are trying to bring some people in to talk to you about homestead and prepper security and what a bug out bag is. The spring one, we are working on planning a garden. If you're wanting to start a chicken flock, or I think some people have quail, some people have ducks, kind of what you need to know before you go out and buy that cute little fluff ball. to about taking care of them and how to keep them safe. Once again, the seed swap will be back. We'll discuss personal safety. Once again, we'll try to get somebody out there that offers CHL courses to at least talk about it. And I believe this spring, my topics are whether to bug in or bug out and the lingo of preppers, otherwise known as Prepperology 101. And Mikey, if I'm going too fast, yell at me, because I'm trying to get through this. My voice is going out on me. The other two events that we have is the Pirate Puppy Party and Ren Fair of Bandera County. The Pirate Puppy Party, known as PPP, is 18th of November. Ren Fair of Bandera County, which we tend to just say Ren Fair in our group because we know that it means, is May the 4th, 2024, and expect that to be an epic crossover event with Star Wars Day, otherwise known as May the 4th be with you. Some of the things that we're needing for is photo opportunities, whether you're somebody who is just wandering around in character or as a roving photo opportunity, or if you have a photo background for taking photos, whether it's the donation of the background to us that is preferred, or if you are a photographer and want to bring your own backgrounds to offer paid packages. We do ask that regardless of what the method is on how we have come to access these backgrounds, if somebody wants to use their own camera to take a picture with that background, we do not charge. We do, however, have a donation tip jar that would be appreciated. If any vendors want to use one side of their tent that is a photo op and a part of being entered into the decorating contest, you can have a tips please jar. We do need to know in advance so that we can place you appropriately, so that way you're not back to back. We don't have you stuck in the middle of the row where you have no free sides in which to have a photo backdrop on there. If your whole tent is going to, your own whole vendor space is going to be that photo opportunity, we need to know that as well, so that way we can have you listed. If you are an entertainer, we do get you a free vending space, which is 12 by 12. We do promote your business and or where you're entertaining for 6 months. You are responsible for telling us the whens, whys, and wheres for accuracy of information. Mikey and I were having a discussion earlier that we currently manage 112 groups ourselves, and I currently have belong to over 500 groups. Easily half of those are just Guilds of Requiem alone between our public and private groups. Entertainers are able to have a tip jar, and there will be electricity available at the stage area only. So why should you volunteer for an event that is already free to attend? That's a really fantastic question. I'm glad it gets brought up to us all the time. Biggest thing is free food. I mean, who does not like free food? We get you a $20 food voucher for every 4 hours of volunteering. You have access to free water and drink mix-ins that include sugar-free and electrolyte options. On those food vouchers, many of our food vendors do accept them. That's what they're good for. It's up to each individual vendor as to whether they're going to give a discount off of the stated prices. At the end of the day, they come and they settle up with us. So that is free $20 worth of food for you. It does help our events grow and once we're to the point where we have a nice budget, you will be among the first volunteers to get paid. You do have access for a free 12 by 12 vending space. However, somebody will need to be there to run the vending space. If you are a roving volunteer, photo op, or presenting a demo or activity, this does mean that you will have to have a Texas state sales tax permit, as there are very few items out there that do not require a sales tax permit. You are welcome to fundraise for an organization of your choice. So say you are part of a local fan club, you get all of your friends in that group to say, hey, yeah, we want to volunteer here. We are limited in the number of food vouchers that we have at each event. So it's better to let us know sooner than later, as long as the individual person has volunteered for 4 hours with our event, not at your table. Your table's something different than our event. Then they will get a $20 food voucher. We also purview and percolate and perfect the spamming, which is shameless promoting, advertising, and marketing of you, your business, or the nonprofit organization of your choice for 1 year. Once again, you're responsible for getting that information to the Merchants Guild in a timely manner. If it's an event that you will be at, whether vending or performing or volunteering at, we do need to know at least 10 days before the event, as we stated in our agrarian, and we'll go through it again in our general meeting. I have a very aggressive social media marketing happening right now that this goes back to the number of groups and pages that we're in. I do not have the time to hunt down what everybody else is doing to promote them. I need you to meet me halfway. I'm willing to promote you, but you need to get me the information of the who, when, where, when, why, and how come. And there will be a hot link to sign up to volunteer. Information on vending and the Vendors Guild. There is a difference between the two. Vending applications are open for the 2023-24 event season. Our vending fees are $12. For a 12-foot by 12-foot space is $50. If you're a food truck that does not need electricity, or you are a food vendor, it's $75. If you're a food truck that needs electricity, or you're a food vendor that needs electricity, it does cost more. We are running some specials that if you are a self-contained food vendor, that we will place you up by the front fence line, and that will be per space. So if you've got a 24-foot long food truck, it'll be $100, but you're right there where everybody can see you from the highway. Returning vendors will have a priority of prime spots. We have also discussed that we can offer a 25% off discount to anybody who has vended in the last vending season, and they're going to be at all 4 events this season. At the Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar, we have the return of Barter Town, and in this area is strictly barters. If you want to make a cash trade, then you need to get out of the venue to make that cash trade. Because if the state comptroller comes in and sees you participating in cash sales and you are not a vendor or obviously with rummage sale items, you can be fined for conducting business in the state of Texas. We will also have the return of the community rummage sale. There are only rummage sale items there. You cannot be selling items that would normally be vended at an event like this. So if you're selling your preserves, that's not a rummage sale item. If you're selling brand new crafts that you make and normally sell elsewhere, that is not a rummage sale item. Now, if you do have items that you are selling at our event but would like to destash and declutter your home, please let us know. We will get you an additional space, and we will get you a table stand up that says that these items on this table or in this area are rummage sale only. We will have flags and flags or tables for signs for merchants willing to barter or have rummage sale items. Going on to our themed events. This is Ren Fair of Bandera County and Pirate Puppy Party. Vendors do need to wear appropriate attire for the event. We are considering anything 1850 and older to be a part of a Ren Fair. If you're a pirate or a old world business merchant, or if you're a space pirate, or you're one of those, fantastical out of this world type of things, that's cool. If you show up as a fairy, if you show up as a dragon, 1, you're my hero. 2, I want lots of pictures. But that will also be okay at Ren Fair. With Ren Fair falling on May the 4th, if you want to show up in Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999, what else is out there? Honor Harrington, Spaceballs, hey, all that is in good line. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I thought I heard Mikey wanting to say something. Examples we will have posted on social media account and our Facebook events and on the events webpage. If you plan on decorating your canopy, let the check-in person know. They will give you a numbered banner to display. We are trying to work on being set up by Rent Fair of next year, hopefully maybe even by the Pirate Puppy Party, where we can take donations via credit card, but there are no guarantees because we are having to work with our merchant provider on that. We do have a donations QR code that can be scanned, that uses PayPal. You do PayPal donation, and then you come back to us and say, hey, I just donated this much and it's for this person. That we can do, and we will put a little receipt and drop it in their can. We'll manually record those amounts. The contests do run from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. with the winner announced at 5 p.m. And I believe it was 50% of all donations, wasn't it, Mikey?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I remembered that correctly. Come on, computer. So all vendors do need to be aware of our event cancellation policy. Extreme temperatures causing weather safety measures to be issued. We'll more than likely cancel the event. The sooner that we know about bad weather, the sooner that we'll cancel the event, because we understand that a lot of our vendors have time-sensitive product that really isn't ready until the night before, or after a couple of days is no longer any good or has grown up. If severe thunderstorm warnings or flood warnings get issued during the night before the event, please double check with our website and our web pages, our Facebook pages. We will try to also send out a text message that's the only reason we ask for your telephone number, is so that we can text you to let you know that, hey, the event has been called due to weather safety concerns. The distinct possibility does exist that we cancel late the night before or very early the morning of an event. We try to let people know as soon as possible. I believe it was March of last year, we got hit with lower than normal temperatures, plus a lightning and thunderstorm, and we had flood warnings get issued like 8 o'clock at night. We were getting flood warnings that were going to be through the end of the next day, that we had to make the choice at 10 o'clock at night to cancel the event. Unfortunately, it does happen. I do not have a magic crystal ball. I might report on the weather, and I might parade around as a dragon meteorologist, but I do not control the weather. We are not that advanced yet. Those who have time-sensitive merchandise, should we need to cancel, please let us know how our customers can get a hold of you to make purchases, whether it's to meet up with you for delivery or anything else. We will try to promote that out as much as we can. I think we had somebody last year who got stuck with almost 5 dozen chickens, baby chicks. So we definitely worked with her the best that we could to promote out that she had baby chicks for sale. I think we also had a baker and one of our food trucks. We worked with them. They were able to, the food truck was able to set up somewhere else in San Antonio, and we promoted it out. If there's less than a 75% chance of rain, pretty good chance the event's going to go on. Vendors just need to adjust how they set up. They do their vendor setting up to include the possibility of sidewalls. What we recommend is that you kind of do an interior horseshoe with sidewall, sidewall, sidewall. So your customers can come in out of the weather, look at everything. You only have the one side that you have to worry about the weather possibly coming in. Just blouse you've got your zipper on that side, just blouse it open so that people can see that you're there. You put a little standee sign out there saying, hey, I'm a vendor, I'm open, I'm here. We have found that the people in Bandera County are very hardy souls, and even if it's raining cats and dogs for just a half an hour, they're right back out there wanting to get their weekend shopping done. The event goes on and you choose as the vendor to not attend. The vending fee is not refundable. That's kind of one of the things that we had to have a give and take on. If we cancel the event, we have to refund all those vending fees. So that is a hit on us. That takes out of our financial revenue for a nonprofit club, nonprofit organization. But if you choose not to come out, I'm sorry, unless it was, here's my ER discharge paperwork. There's probably a good chance that we're not going to refund your vending fee, and you need to be aware of that before you choose not to show up and vend at one of our events. 2 no-call, no-shows, 2 not showing up, 2 instances of not showing up our events. We do have a vendor blacklist where we do not ask those vendors to come back. We do not offer discounts or anything else to those vendors. So it is best business practice that if you've signed up for an event, to be there at that event. Our guest services canopy will be set up as we're kind of doing it on the right side as you come in now versus the left side of the entrance, because it's a little bit shadier there and the ground is flat. Also, we're having activities over there, and I do give a lot of activity presentations and demonstrations. That it just makes sense for me to be there in my limited mobility. So what we will also do is we will try to post pictures up of how to set up your tent for bad weather. I think we kind of got some of it started, but we might just have to go out and take pictures one day of this is how you set up for inclement weather, and just have that as part of our website. But if you're not quite sure how to set your canopy up and it's kind of raining a little bit, take a look at how we have it set up. That'll give you an idea. Once again, if we cancel the event, vendors can request a refund of fees for them to be applied towards the next event, or you can donate the fees to Guilds of Requiem. We will then send you a donation receipt, and you can use that for tax purposes. So we've got 4 events, $50 per event. That's $100 that you can possibly be getting a tax credit on. Our second part is the Vendors Guild of Requiem, and we are coming up on September 1st being our renewal date for anybody who's a part of it. Our membership fees do begin at $50 a year. You get a free 12-foot by 12-foot space at all of our events, which is a $200 value because we have 4 events. So $50 times 4 is $200. You can get an additional space at cost, which is a $25 value per space. You get access to our website and web space to sell your merchandise on our Wix website. If you were to try to do that on your own with Wix, well, that's at least $200, possibly more. We just reduced one of our websites that was going to be $583 to renew for a year. We just eliminated one of those, so because we already have a platform to make sales. So, and you have access to marketing, social media management, and graphics. There's $500 plus. We do ask that the member provide pertinent information at least 2 weeks in advance. This includes other events not associated with Guilds of Requiem. You do need to stay in contact with our Merchants Guild as to what's going on, whether you're going to be at an event or not, where you're going to be at an event that's not Guilds of Requiem. You must be responsive to emails and share out our events on your social media pages. It is a guild of vendors. You're here to help each other. You're here to support each other so that everyone is successful in what they do. Vendors Guild members do have access to prime vending spots at our events. The events are in line with our fiscal year. Our fiscal year is from September to August. So there's kind of confusion with somebody else that thought, that said when I said through the end of the year, they did not know that I meant through the end of our fiscal year. And I failed and explained to the person that it was through the end of our fiscal year, which ends on August 31st. So we have worked it out, but our vending year and our fiscal year is September 1st through August 31st. So we will be sure going forward to make sure that that is clear with everybody involved. What's the outlook for the future of our events? Well, I guess that's up in the air because there's no more pages on here. Let me stop share here. Yeah, that's where the future of our events are. There's a lot of it's up in the air. A lot of it depends on we have the property. Our offices are located at Highway 16 and Panther Ridge next to Country Accents Antiques and the Backyard Bistro. Some people may remember us as the marketplace of Pipe Creek. Other people might remember us as the crazy tent people of Highway 16. Oh yes, we had a field day with that one. For 3 years, we had a field day with being the crazy tent people on Highway 16. Never give me a challenge to be when I can, when there's an opportunity for me to be I ain't gonna say it because it's, we're family friendly event here, family friendly going on here. But we are looking at restarting Requiem's marketplace up there. And that is going to first start out with our Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar. We kind of want to try to slowly transition. That way we're not taking on too much at one time. Because if you've ever driven by the front of our property, it looks abandoned, it looks, redneckish. What are some of the other phrases?
It's wild.
It's wild.
Yes.
It needs a lot of taming, a lot of taming, before we start having events and functions up there again. Yeah, we've got to do a lot of cleanup up there because unfortunately weather has happened. We are on the highway, so dealing with litter is a constant problem that we have up there. And we just want it to be cohesive in how everything looks and that everything is nice and presentable up there, while still maintaining our close to nature approach to our business. Are we going to cut some trees down? Yeah, because we need places for buildings to go up, eventually buildings to go up. Are we going to trim trees up? Yes, so that there's greater visibility from the highway. Yes, we will trim some trees up. Are we going to cut out all of our trees and leave just bare ground? No, not going to happen. Other than aesthetically not pleasing, there's also the fact that we are on the highway, and the 2 years that we had vending up there during the summer, we brought a couple temperature gauges up there. We had one down at the trailer, and we had one up there with us at the Matt, your phone's ringing. Sorry. We had a couple temperature gauges with us. One of them was down at our trailer, and the other one was up front with us at the in the marketplace. And we saw a 10-degree difference from our trailer to up front at the marketplace. And we believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have the highway up there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a heat soak that we have to contend with there. And we almost did not open up that very first weekend because the day before a windstorm came in and just completely blew our tents over and broke the legs and everything on them. That's why we kind of had the pallet structures up there, is so that we could make our expensive canopies that got destroyed in the windstorm last longer, because obviously we couldn't return them for our money back because, well, they were destroyed by a windstorm. So we do get straight line winds. If it's a gusty day, it is straight lining into there. So we really don't want to get rid of a lot of that natural barrier that is present up there with all the trees. Yeah, and it's hot. It's Texas. And we found the areas where we had no trees were hotter than the areas that we left the trees. So we're going to try to leave as much natural shade up there as possible. Are we going to be able to get away with it 100%? Probably not. 75%. We want people to see that you're there, and if we don't trim up enough, then if we have like different little areas of vending here, walk through a path and there's vending here, walk through a path and there's vending here, walk through a path, there's a vending here. If we don't have everything cleared up enough and the paths laid out nicely and obvious that there's a path there, if somebody's way over here, they may never see customers.
Right.
Because the customers don't know they're there. So we got to find a nice balance between maintaining our wildlife certified wildlife habitat that we have with the needs of the business. So we need to keep a nice balance with that. Oh, okay. Sorry. Kids are like, we got questions. We need answers.
No
Okay,
worries.
yeah.
And I was also going to say too, any like trees that we end up cutting down and things like that, is there a thought process to using those to make structures for the vendors, like permanent structures?
If we're going to kind of have to look at the logistics of that, because we ran into that some of the posts that we made out of trees that we cut down originally
Mhm.
are now laying on the ground.
Yeah.
We do have fire ants up there that we have to contend with and try to keep under control for safety.
Okay.
But we also have a lot of wildlife that likes to use that area as a habitat.
Right.
That the deer are going to strip bark off of any branches and stuff. So probably if we do, it would be any of the cedar trunks that are at least 3 inches or larger in diameter.
Right.
And it's going to have to be, structurally sound through the entire piece.
Exactly. Okay.
If there's already wood rot happening or ants have eaten it out or wood termites or whatever have gotten to it, of course, we're not going to be able to use it. So we're going to try to strike a balance, make sure we're not, increasing our carbon footprint any more than we need to.
Right.
But yeah, we will, we did use a lot of the cedar that we cut down to make handrails, safety rails. We just need to revisit our design because
Yeah.
it fell over. We had one that just basically collapsed down like this, and we had another one that was parallel to the road that has now been blown over.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, when I say that we deal with straight line winds up there, we deal, that
She's
is
not
why,
lying.
yeah, and we have caliche less than 2 inches under our topsoil. And there's places where we don't even have 2 inches of topsoil, that when we tell people bring weights, we mean bring weights.
Exactly. Because you can't get a stake in that ground anywhere.
Yeah. And if you manage to find that one soft little spot, good luck on getting it back up.
Exactly.
We had a lot of vendors that said, oh, I'm just going to stake my tent down. Their tent blew over with the stake still in the ground.
Yeah.
That is it. That is what we kind of have to deal with on our property up here. We have noticed that when we're at the shindig, we dealt with a lot of straight line winds. There's been a couple times we've dealt with that at the Palmarosa RV park. We start getting those winds off of the highway. And yeah, there was a couple of days where I've seen people holding onto their sides of their canopies, and they're all going, wee.
Yep. I was one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, when we say weight your canopy down, we mean weight your canopy down. Don't share weights. Don't weight your canopy down.
Exactly.
So that is one of the things that we, people are like, it's like, no, you don't understand. There's a reason we're saying this. Trust us.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's kind of our goal is during the winter holiday to kind of start getting a start up there. Like I said, we're kind of aiming for the fall homesteaders and preppers of 2024.
Okay.
To possibly be up there. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, well, you're homesteading and you're prepping. There is no reason for power. You should have options to you that do not include power.
Right.
Now, if you want to bring a generator, that's fine. But don't think we're going to have electricity up there that first season. That's probably not going to happen, because that is a lot of things that need to happen to make that happen, because Guilds of Requiem itself is, while it's been around for 7 years, officially and formally, we've only had our nonprofit status for a year now. And they backdated it to 2020 to
Yeah.
when we got our nonprofit corporation with the state of Texas. So I've had some people that have this misconception that we have a lot of money, because a lot of the nonprofits they know have money. No, we are still new enough and in our infancy enough that we can't even apply for grants because we do not have 2 years of financial records as a nonprofit filed with the IRS.
Exactly.
And the IRS said, well, you've already filed under your nonprofit corporation, so we can't, you can't go back and refile under a 990. So yeah, we've got to have another year, I think that is what it is, Mikey.
Yes, it is.
90 before we can start applying, even thinking about applying for grants. So everything that we have and everything that we do is from the hard work of the members. Matt, myself, anybody who lives on the property here that, even if there are kids that got voluntold, you will help. They do put a lot of hard work into it. Mikey, Desiree, yeah, that's right. How many times did you and Ben get voluntold to come do stuff?
Just a few.
Just a few, that's all. Just a few. So yeah, I mean, everything's got to kind of happen on in a prescribed pace, whether we like it or not. Now we did have our first event where we broke even. Rent fair, we broke even. So that is why when people hear us talking about we run on donations, sponsorships, and volunteers, it's because it's the truth.
It is.
We are not set up in a position to have revenue generating for us, which kind of has us in the catch-22 that we need revenue, but to get revenue we need the buildings. To get the buildings we need revenue.
Exactly.
So we just got to kind of work on it. But I'm going to call the meeting for right now so that I can tend to what my stepkids are after about, and see you back at 7 o'clock.
Bye.